Welcome to my lecture on elongated skulls of the Philippines. The Philippines has many secrets and mysteries locked away within its 7,000 plus island archipelago, and today we reveal one of those mysteries. As for too long it's been hidden away in the library catacombs, basements of museums, and within the walls of private collections. First and foremost, this presentation was made possible by the Philippines' greatest anthropologist, Dr. Jose Rizal, the German Anthropological Society, the University of San Francisco, and the Rizal Institute of Technology Anthropology Department. Let's begin. While elongated skulls are found in various parts of the world, I believe due to the recent results of paleogenomic and genetic research here in the Philippines, the cases of elongated skulls within our region are of great importance to the anthropological, scientific, and academic communities, as the origins of these skulls in many cases are still subject to debate, with many differing theories to their possible origins, such as cultural practices, genetics, ancestral or progenitor hominid species. Some have even suggested aliens. I believe the Philippine skulls will help clarify this matter. The forefathers of anthropological research in the islands, and more specifically on elongated skulls of the Philippines, can be traced to some of the forefathers of anthropology the world over in what was once the Kingdom of Bohemia, now Germany, such as Rudolph Virchow, A.B Meyer, Wilhelm Jost, Fedor Jagor, Ferdinand Blumentritt, and also some of the first Filipino anthropologists like Dr. Jose Rizal and Isabella de los Reyes. Rizal himself studied under Rudolph Virchow during his 13-month academic sojourn in Germany and became great friends with all of the aforementioned Bohemian anthropologists. And in January 1887, Rizal was inducted as a member of the Berlin Society of Anthropology and went on to send many skull specimens from the Philippines back to the anthropological institutions in Europe, especially Germany, during his exile in Dapitan. We know that he also collected skulls while he was in Dapitan. He has an interesting account of meeting the famous Rudolph Virchow in Berlin. The scholar told me, jestingly, that he would study me ethnographically, Rizal said. Afterwards, Rizal and Virchow had dinner, and Rizal is quoted as saying in the letter that he sat beside Virchow and he understood my German Chabacano very well. Rudolph Virchow was quoted in a meeting of the German Anthropological Society after the martyrdom and execution of Dr. Jose Rizal as saying, "We are losing in Rizal not only a faithful friend of Germany and German scholarship, but also the only man with sufficient knowledge and resolution to open a way for modern thought into that far-off island world." Elongated skulls have been discovered in different archaeological sites across the Philippines, from the extreme northern islands of Batanes to the deep south in Mindanao. Some of the Mindanao examples may have been collected by Rizal himself, being the avid anthropologist that he was. Rizal wrote to the famous anthropologist A.B Meyer during his exile, "I have a good stock of heads for the anthropology associations in Germany." Apart from the Berlin Ethnological Museum, he donated natural specimens and ethnological artifacts to museums in Dresden, Frankfurt, and Prague. The majority of these skulls are ancient, dating back thousands of years. The evidence suggesting their presence in the islands from an ancient to pre-colonial and up into colonial times, such as those found in Libertad, Agusan, and Sibugay. The elongated skulls held immense cultural significance amongst ancient Filipinos. They were considered symbols of beauty, power, nobility, and divine connections. This also seems to be the case in all other cultures across the globe, where similar skulls were found as prominent elements of the people and the cultures, such as those found in Peru. Here, you can see one of the very rare depictions from the Boxer Codex of a Philippine royal couple from the Visayan regions with an elongated head. Several of the archaeological sites in the Philippines that have yielded elongated skulls have been quite fascinating. Some of the implications from these sites and discoveries have helped to unlock secrets of the past. As you can see from this map that I created using Google's new mapmaker tool, which I've linked in the description, this was one of the uniting cultural factors of the ancient Filipino world. As you can see here, I've marked each site referenced in this presentation with one of the elongated skulls from the Philippines. In no way is this a complete reference of all elongated skulls from all sites located within the Philippine Islands, but up until this point, it is all the sites included in my research. Most, if not all, of the archaeological sites in which elongated skulls were retrieved, there have been very interesting ancient correlations to other cultural elements found within the Philippines, as the majority of elongated skull sites are always associated with spirit boat burials and cave sites, such as one of the most famous from Tabon cave system, where beautiful artifacts were recovered, and the ancient anatism evidence of the Philippine psycho-pomp ferryman Maguayao and his anthropomorphized serpent boat shows a very strong correlation and sacred nature of the long skulls and proto-hominids to caves, shipbuilding, and seafaring. This was also evidenced by Pigafetta and other Portuguese, Italian early chroniclers, which stated that the Philippine ships were the finest they had ever come across, and that the Philippine vessels moved like birds upon the water, while the European vessels lumbered around cumbersome like castles on the ocean in comparison. One of the most mysterious elongated skull sites found within the Philippines is in the most northern region of Batanes. This region is very interesting, as it is one of the only locations that had stone structures and an ancient stone pre-colonial castle built by the indigenous Filipinos. As you can see, the burials at the Batanes site were in the shape of a ship or a boat, much like the wooden boat coffin burials found in other caves, except the ones in Batanes were in pit graves with the ship of stone laid upon the pit grave after internment. As you can see in the upper left corner, some of the jewelry found within the pit grave sites of the elongated skulls are very interesting, and I believe at some point in the future will be connected and tied to the Denisovan connection that is prominent here in the Philippines. The presence of elongated skulls have sparked many controversies and out-of-the-box theories in the academic and scientific world, from the purely traditional explanation of artificial origins such as head binding and skull wrapping to the far-left hypothesis of ancient aliens, and everywhere in between. Some also have speculated about genetic anomalies, although I believe when looking at the global disbursement of elongated skulls in the archaeological record, with the most numerous and pronounced evidences being found in the Philippines, Pacific, the Americas, and Asia, we can correlate this ancient practice to other anthropological evidence such as progenitor hominid species, archaeological disbursement, alongside paleogenomic and modern genetic research. Utilizing modern techniques and technologies alongside our ancient evidence and indigenous oral and written traditions, we can finally revelate on the matter of elongated skulls. As recent scientific investigations in the Philippines utilizing DNA analysis and radiocarbon dating have provided some groundbreaking insights. First, the antiquity of hominins in the archipelago has been pushed back to well over 700,000 years ago, with butchered rhino bones and stone tools being uncovered at the same archaeological sites as Homo luzonensis, the most recent addition to our hominid family tree. Accompanied by the most in-depth genetic study ever performed in the Philippines, which showed that not only do indigenous Filipinos have the highest percentage by far of living Denisovan DNA and ancestry in modern populations than any other place in the world, but the haplogroups and DNA exhibited in our indigenous peoples show the highest rate of hominid admixture, such as Neanderthal, Denisovan, and other mysterious hominins, most probably Erectus and Luzonensis. The missing link to our lost past, I believe, in more ways than one, is here in the Philippines. The most recent groundbreaking genetic and linguistic research has shown quite clearly that a progenitor Adam and Eve population group in great antiquity circumnavigated the globe. This is clearly evidence moving in all directions: in the north through Taiwan, the south into all of our neighboring countries, the west to the Andaman Islands and Indian Ocean archipelagos, all the way into South Africa, and most prominently and clearly evidenced moving all the way through the Pacific into the Americas, not by foot, but by ancient seafaring technologies of our ancestors, the ancient progenitor hominids, such as the Denisovan, Neanderthal, Luzonensis, Floresiensis, Erectus population groups. I would like you to ponder one question. Where do you think shipbuilding and seafaring would develop first and to the greatest degree and refinement? Within landlocked tribes living in the mountains, forests, or deserts? Or peoples of island archipelagos that fish, hunt, live, and trade on the water day in and day out? While there is no doubt artificial cranial deformation has resulted in a good number, if not most, of the world's elongated skulls so far, artificial cranial deformation, which is the artificial shaping of the skull by boards and in some cases cloth or other materials, is almost in all instances done in cultures to represent royalty, divinity, beauty, connection to the gods, or the civilization-bringing ancestors. If we take a look at the skulls of these ancestors, you can see that in many cases they are naturally elongated, larger, and longer for certain than the modern human Homo sapiens skull, as you can see in comparison. It is with this that, yes, my belief is that a good majority of the elongated skulls were artificially formed, but not all, as it was originally a genetic physical representation in certain individuals and hominin groups. This has been clearly evidenced in some particular population groups, such as those found in the Philippines, Peru, and other Pacific Island chain specimens. OCE, or organic cranial elongation, is not only evidenced by our progenitor hominids, but in many scientific findings that have shown certain population groups to have fetal and newborn elongation, making it impossible to have artificially bound or deformed the skull. In antiquity, if we analyze many of the connecting elements, such as the ancient religion of the Philippines, anantismo, or ancestor worship, which in Isabella de los Reyes' masterpiece Ethnography, Anantismo, the Ancient Religion of the Philippines, explained our ancient belief and how we deified our ancestors, and that our oral and written traditions reified that we were the children of the gods being our ancestors, the progenitor hominids, those that had been here for millions of years before modern man, whom handed down great wisdoms, technologies, and crafts such as shipbuilding, navigation, weaponry, agriculture, masonry, etc. The Denisovans, Neanderthals, Luzonensis, Erectus are just to name a few. So, it is my theory that the elongated skulls, a worldwide shared artifact, much like pyramid building and seafaring, are the puzzle pieces of our shared missing past. It's best explained by my theory, the Progenitor Hominid Theory. As we've exhibited with the pyramids, the elongated skulls, these worldwide connecting factors are clear and evident. I would now like to part with one of the most mysterious of those connecting factors, the Aita and the giants. In ancient history, there seems to be a constant and worldwide connection between the Aita and the giants. In the scientific or academic world, they're often referred to as the pygmy tribes, but I believe they were an ancient lost civilization with a clear connection to the gods of antiquity, as all of the connected civilizations of pyramid builders, stonemasons, elongated skulls, and civilization bringers, there's always pygmy or Aita tribes interacting with other giant or large or robust hominid species with elongated skulls. As you can see on the ancient Egyptian hieroglyph, there is the giants with the elongated skulls, and there is the very small people or pygmy or Aita groups with also elongated skulls. And one of the other interesting depictions from ancient cave art from the times of antiquity, as you can see to the left, is this ancient giant with an elongated skull and a little tiny person with them. This, I believe, is some sort of great connection between these two groups of very large people and very short people. I believe they circumnavigated the globe together, and they worked collaboratively to both bring and develop these great civilizations of antiquity, such as the Egyptian, the Mayan, the other great civilizations found in the Middle East and all over the world, Southeast Asia, etc., etc. There is a clear and pronounced, pervasive connection between the Aita pygmy tribes of the world from the Philippines through the Indian island chains into Africa and into the Americas and the Amazon. There are significant amounts of ancient oral and written traditions of the Native American tribes, both in the north, central, and south, of very small tribes, pygmy tribes that have the same physical characteristics as the Aita of the Philippines and other locales. The genetic studies have also shown this, that such as the Aita tribes in the Philippines have the most significant amount of living Denisovan and other hominid DNA up until this very day, which signifies that they had a physical connection and relationship with the ancient giants, the long skulls of our lost, shared past. I believe this is one of the next videos that I will be producing, which is, I would like to title it Atlantis. And we will go into this connection between the ancient hominids, the giants, if you will, the long skulls, the progenitor hominid groups, and their connection with the Aita worldwide civilization. My name is Charles Augustus Markham III. I'm an anthropologist that specializes in the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific. I thank you for your time. If you'd like to support myself, my anthropological projects in the Philippines, and my channel, you can go to my website, rizal.world, and you can also go to my GoFundMe, which is linked in the description, which will help greatly with expanding anthropological projects and research in the Philippine Islands, which we need very much. Thank you once again, and as always, on this June 19th, I would like to say thank you, Happy Father's Day, Happy Rizal Day to my idol, my paragon, Dr. Jose Rizal. Thank you. Mga hits.
Subscribe!